Hey, this is Shifty, and I'm here to show you some basic intake modifications to a stock 2.0 turbo Genesis coupe. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you what the car does on this stretch of road with a stock factory air box, factory air filter, and the intake silencer in place. So here we go. Let's take off normal, first gear. This is about 4,000 RPM. What I'm going to do is shift to fifth here, 2,500 RPM. That's about 25 to 2,700 RPM going uphill in fifth with pretty good throttle. That should make significant turbo noise and blow off, and it did nothing. So it gives you an idea of what the stock car does. So let's go back to the house here and we'll make a mod. Okay, so we're back in the garage. Now we're going to make the first mod to the intake. There you are. Behold the almighty 2.0 turbo. First thing we're going to do, snap the 4 tabs off of the air box cover and then lift it off. Super simple. From there, you're going to need a Phillips screwdriver or a 10mm wrench, and you're just going to loosen up the clamp that holds the air box to the intake hose. Voila! Alright, so we've done the first easy part. That's removing the top half of this intake box. Your next easy step is taking the breather hoses off of the valve cover. This is best done with these 2 clamps here. They're facing right up towards the sky. They're easy to just pull and move back with a pair of pliers. I've already removed them. Then the hoses just slide right off the valve cover. Now from there, you'll need to get these clamps down here. Now Hyundai's done a pretty crappy job for us. They've kind of scooted them back, but they're just in an awkward enough spot. You can't really get to them with the air box in the way. You can, but it's pretty awkward. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the lower intake box. Done with a 10mm socket and ratchet. There's 3 bolts. 2 up front that are easily visible, 1 back here underneath the power steering reservoir. They are a little bit hard to break at first, so a nut driver probably won't do it. This nut driver that I'm using has a 1/4 inch female end on it, so you can kind of use it as an extension. It's the only way I'm able to get it out with this nut driver. So go ahead and use that Phillips screwdriver again, and this will reveal most of the reason that this car does not talk to you when you drive it. This is the bean counter intake. That means the bean counters at Hyundai said, wow, this car's great, but it can't have any turbo noise because everybody will think it's broke. And I'm probably right. American citizens would surely flock to the dealership saying their car's making all kinds of weird noises right after they left the lot. Alright, so loosen those 2 clamps back. We'll grab a hold of this guy, and this is the dreaded 2.0 turbo Hyundai silencer intake. That's it right there. Big pipe, slot in the middle, double walled. Goodbye. I'll be replacing that with this. Now this is not optimal. What this is a 3-inch to 3-inch OD adapter picked up at AutoZone. Any exhaust shop will have them really. It's just a 3-inch pipe. It's going to go in there, but it's not stainless. It's prone to rust. It's got some shavings. I've filed the flashing off of there, but you want to make sure that there's nothing in this pipe that's going to get ingested in the turbo. So really this isn't ideal. If it rusts, there's potential rust could break off, go down in the turbo, and then bad things happen. So this is temporary. This is just for me to show you how this works. If you do want to use one of these adapters, be very aware of the fact that they're sharp. Okay, so your intake pipe's back on, but remember, reattach the breather hoses. Just slide them on there, put the clamps on. Now I've gone ahead and taken this guy out of here. You'll notice there's this tube sticking out of the side of your intake pipe. Might wonder why they did that. That's why. It's hollow. Why did they do that? Makes it quieter. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and take that out and flip it around. Make it just a solid pipe instead of a hollow pipe. It's just going to give you a little bit less turbulent airflow and a little bit more noise. Maybe. Okay, so we've got that back together. Now from here, all I'm going to do is put the factory air box back in, plug it back in, tighten it down, and we're going to go for a ride, see how much difference that silencer made once it's out. Okay, so we're back. We're in the same spot that we started before, stock intake, and we're going to give it a shot with the silencer out. Here we go. Fifth gear, 2,500 RPM uphill. Listen, you're going to hear it. Okay, so a little bit of turbo noise and just a puff of blow-off valve. Very, very little. Okay, so we're back here at the house. I've already taken the stock air box off. Now we're going to go ahead and replace the stock air box with this cone filter. Oh, and you remember earlier I told you that the exhaust pipe is not optimal for the silencer delete. This is what's optimal. This is a PVC pipe that's not ever going to rust or anything like that. There's nothing on this pipe that's going to fall off and go in your intake. So really, use a PVC down here in place of that silencer. Don't use the exhaust pipe if possible. But keep an eye on it, take it out and inspect it every now and then. You're probably going to be fine, but just be on the safe side. So anyway, I put this PVC adapter in here. I got this at the plumbing store. It's 75 cents. Put it right in the intake there and then onto your air box. Actually, you're going to run it down here first. It's got to kind of fit behind the headlight. A little bit awkward. Hold on, let's see. Okay. And we'll push it down. Okay. Down behind there. We'll just tighten it down. So what you notice with the silencer delete is you got a very little bit of turbo noise, but you did get a little bit of blow-off sound. If you're trying to retain the whole sleeper thing, put a K&N drop-in in there, take that silencer out. The car's going to talk to you a little bit. You're going to see what's going on. You're going to hear what's going on with the motor, but it's not going to be obnoxious. This is where you make that change. You cross the line into being your car being obnoxious. You're about to find out why. So let's go for a ride now. Alright, we're back here with Shifty, and we're once again staring off into the Great Plains of Oklahoma. But we're getting ready to kind of break the silence here. As soon as I let out this clutch, you're going to hear how obnoxious this thing is. I've put intakes on a lot of turbo cars. This is by far the loudest car I've ever heard just with a cone filter. You're about to see what I mean. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to shut up and let the car talk. But it fits. Same 2,500 pull up the hill. So there you have it. Okay, so there you go. You need a cone filter and a little piece of PVC pipe. Two little pieces of PVC pipe, really. And you got yourself a car with a soul.